dead. I'm talking. He got hit.
Bring him in and get his thoughts. Maybe there he is, my man Rossi. Yeah. I have a lot of questions for you. I have a lot of questions for you. First and foremost, you're the GOAT. I appreciate you in DMs. You're always so nice to me, and I appreciate that a lot. Secondly, congratulations. I feel like last week, everybody seemed to really share the same sentiment that you guys didn't play to your standards. Obviously, a little bit of a slower start today, but do you feel like you guys are getting back to that form, or did you reach those standards that you've set for yourselves today?
I mean, definitely we're not at where we want to be, but I think in the first match we had like 5-6 days of practice, and it was our first match. It was the first match for those 4 guys in a while, and it was just a lot to slot in. And especially like I'm a very vocal person. I'm like the secondary IGL of the team, so I have a lot to say. So it was a lot to implement in such a little time. So I mean, I hate making excuses, but we just needed more time. But we're looking better, but definitely not where we need to be because there's still a lot of mistakes that we make. But I'm glad we won.
And so now a lot of the questions I think from this FaZe team also come around how late everything turned up, right? The roster announcement is hours before your guys' first matchup. You were obviously kind of new in joining the team last second, although I think the scuttlebutt was everybody kind of knew that this was happening. How did that come about, right? Your pickup from FaZe where you're still qualifying with the nation, you still have a chance, and then a few days later, now you're sitting on that FaZe roster. What was that period of time for you like?
Basically, after the open qualifiers were done, like we got eliminated. There was only one more game left, which was OR versus Sonics, and after that, I just made an LFT, just like weigh my options. I did have some offers from some of the challenger teams, but I just wanted to just weigh all my options. And I previously tried out for FaZe before, but I didn't make it, and that was like probably like a month or 2 before the open qualifiers. So I think after that, like after I posted my LFT, like literally an hour later, Poised hit me. He was like, "Hey, what are you doing for next block?" I'm like, I don't know or whatever. Like I'm just hoping I get a good team. And they were like, "Hey, we need you." I'm like, done. Let's get it done quickly. I think it was all within like an hour. I joined like after I posted my LFT.
I love that. It's like such a cool story that you're able to prove yourself the way that everybody kind of has to, right? You didn't quite make it at first. You jump into the qualifier with whatever team, not to discredit those guys, but with the nation. And then you really rise to the occasion. You show up as the best player in the open qualifiers, and now you're picked by FaZe. That's super cool. I'm super happy for you.
Yeah. Best players, I think a little overstatement. I had great teammates, and I learned a lot from those guys. Yeah. I give a lot of those credits to those guys. So maybe I was the best statistical player, but a lot of my teammates on the nation were very valuable, and I will be forever grateful for them.
You're too good, man. You are too good. You're way too humble. So I guess that kind of answers my next question that I had, but maybe there's a bit more to it. Was ever a time where you were thinking about double dipping, or was it strictly the nation was out, FaZe needed you, and it was an instant transition? There was no previous time in those short weeks, or the 5 days I think you guys said.
No, I mean, I was nation until we didn't qualify, basically. That's really what it was. So, I've always seen myself joining a team like FaZe because I just, Quan or Dicey is like a really good friend of mine, and Baby Bay, like I would talk to him here and there and be cool, and I already knew Poise and Superman. So it was just from overall vibes, like I just knew I would vibe with them well, and I was very appreciative of them giving me the offer. And because I think ever since maybe like how I ended on TSM, like there was a lot of like negative comments, and I think I grew up a lot ever since then. And I think people seen that, like not even just in game, but out of game as well. So I'm grateful for the community, like forgiving me for like being stupid in the past and stuff like that. I'm just glad I got to be able to have like a fresh slate, and FaZe gave me that as well. So I'm forever grateful for FaZe as well for just giving me this opportunity.
I can't stop smiling, man. You're too much, bro. You're too humble. I think everybody's noticed the transition that you've made and the growth that you've made as a person and as a player, and obviously you're going to continue to do so. Now, I don't want to hold you too long because you've got some celebrations ahead of you and you guys have some time off, so I want to get you to that. But we do have our final question. That is going to be from our fan zone. If you guys don't know, you can go to pks.gg, join the fan zone, get your answers or your questions answered. And this one comes from Liz Marchini, and I'm going to give you the long form because I love Liz. Says, hello and GGs. What was your read on your opponent going into the match, and how did they match those expectations? Did Turtle Troop surpass or fall short of the expectations you had set for them coming into today?
I think they met our expectations, honestly. Like we did a VOD review on Fracture, like for them because we knew they liked Fracture and we liked Fracture to see like how they would play against us, or like the adjustments on how they would play. So we set up just for Fracture really, but they came with a whole new comp and they countered us really well. So I think we maybe like it was like really hard to prepare for them because like all new stuff that we didn't see before. They haven't played Pearl or Ascent before, so I think they met our expectations. It was really less about them, but just us still focusing on ourselves because we still don't have that much time. It's been like 11, 12, like barely 2 weeks since we're practicing or even formed as a team. So we just been focusing on ourselves because we know if we're at the top of our game, we could beat those guys, and not to discredit those guys, but we could really just beat anyone. We're at the top of our game and we're playing ourselves, so playing at our level that we know we can be, which we're still not there yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, you're getting there, and today was the first step at that. FaZe on the rise. Rossi, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you.
Face up!
Hands on your knees. Keep it back tight. Baixo, baixo, baixo. Baixo, baixo, baixo. Baixo, baixo, baixo.